Griggs here with the free agents. Trying to encourage you to get out, get checked, get fit, get moving. That's the only way to do it. The only way we know how in New Orleans. We hot, we skip, and we like to do something. It doesn't matter what you do. I just want you to move. You know how to do that. In New Orleans, we move really well. We hot, we skip, and everybody knows how to just do it. Or do something.
Good evening, and welcome to Get Checked, Get Fit, Get Moving here with Doc Griggs. I am Ellis Dean, part of your BDO team, and we want to say Happy New Year. Since we are 10 days into the new year, but this is our first show of the year, so it's still for us to say Happy New Year. So we're going to say New Year, and welcome to the new season of Get Checked, Get Fit, Get Moving with Doc Griggs. Doc, how you doing?
I'm good. Happy New Year, man. Good to see you.
Great. Absolutely. Well, we've got a jam-packed show. For you, so I want y'all to jump in. Let us know where you're watching from. So drop that in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching from all over the country, all over the world. We'd like to know where you're watching us from. Number two, if you know somebody that needs this information, please tag them, share it on your page so we can get as much of this information out to everybody who really needs it. And then finally, if you have any questions, please drop those in the comment section, and we'll try to get as many questions answered as we can. We got a short time. We only got 30 hot minutes, and we got a great show for you tonight. So we're going to talk about an update on what's going on with Damar Hamlin. I know that was kind of the big story at the beginning of this year, the tragedy that happened on Monday Night Football. A whole kind of special show about that last week, so you can go back. And Dr. Griggs was on that program, and we had a fantastic program about that last week. So we're going to give you an update on what his health status is, and also give you some tips and tidbits about how you can keep yourself safe when it comes to cardiac arrest. And we'll talk about cardiac arrest versus heart attack a little bit too. And then also we're going to talk about how you can keep the resolutions all year long, because the reality is that they say about 60% of the people don't even make it to the end of January before they've given up on their New Year's resolutions. So we're going to give you the tips and techniques on how to keep that resolution throughout the year. So sit back, relax. We got a great show. So Doc, why don't you start? Give us the latest on what's going on with Damar Hamlin.
So again, man, thank you for having me again on our show. It's a new year, new beginnings. Get checked, get fit, get moving. Get checked. You want to climb your family tree, know yourself. You should be the expert on you, but you go to the doctor. Get fit is exercise, and of course, get moving is find something you like to do and do it. We're missing our theme music. We didn't do any music today. We had a scare last week, about a week ago. Damar Hamlin. Surprisingly, you want an update. He is back in Buffalo. He actually left Ohio and is in Buffalo now. He's in care in Buffalo in a hospital. Right now, he's probably most likely what he's going through is what's called cardiac rehab. It's actually an underused resource that a lot of people don't know about after they have cardiac events. Cardiac meaning heart, and the events meaning being stroke or heart attack. What it does is it takes you. It's basically supervised physical therapy to help you literally, and sorry if I sound a little corny, get checked, get fit, get moving. It reintroduces you to life moving forward. I thought I just died. I thought that joke just died out there. But what happens is it's a team of cardiologists, a team of physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists that teach you how to reintroduce yourself to your life moving forward, hopefully such that you won't have to deal with these types of events again. You have, of course, a team of doctors, the pharmacists are on board to help you adjust to your new medications. It's actually available to anyone that's had a cardiac event, and it is extremely useful and crucial, essential to your moving forward with the rest of your life.
Well, that is great. And I think there were also some updates with regards to his contract with the NFL. And I saw that even though I know we pick on the NFL a lot and the way they treat players and their track record hasn't been great, but the way they have treated this situation, minus them trying to make them play after 5-minute break, minus that initial.
Hey, easy now. New year, new graces, new year.
I'm trying to give some grace. Minus that initial one, I think they have been getting this. I think they've been getting it right. So I think from what I read, that is.
So what I understand is that they guaranteed the rest of his contract. I think it was a $3.4 million contract. This was his second year. He wasn't vested. You have to play for 3 years, from what I understand, to be vested in the NFL for any types of benefits. And I think his base salary was it $890? No, 160, or it was $890 with 160 in bonuses. His full contract for 4 years was $3.64 million, and they guaranteed it out. So to make sure that he's okay. That's actually the right thing to do, and they're fully supporting him. What I really love is, have you noticed the number 3 everywhere? People that haven't even played on the same team with him. Everything's happening in the NFL. There was a teammate of his, a former teammate of his on another team earlier in his life, that after the touchdown, he went to the 30-yard line and sat and celebrated on the 3. Everyone is celebrating. So I talk about football a lot. We talked about it a lot. My dad played football. I played football, and immediately when it happened, we started talking. He said, son, this is why it pays to just be a good guy. The entire country was rallying. We all waited on bated breath, and we were watching the updates together and just really going through it with him and his family. And once he put up the sign with the heart that he's okay, he told us he FaceTimed his team. Ellis, tell me what you would do if something like that happened and you're on the team and all of a sudden he appears on this big screen and says, "I love you, boys." Would you not be charged up to win, which is what they did this past weekend?
Look, New England had no shot. They had no shot. They didn't have a shot anyway. That's a whole other conversation. But they really had it was kind of like I likened it to when the Saints came back after Katrina.
Dude,
it was.
Let me just tell you real quick. I know you're not a Saints fan. I cried with multiple people in the streets because we needed that. It was an emotional release. Just like with this kid, it was. Ellis, you and I have been holding our breath the entire time. Like, if there was not good news, I didn't want to talk to you. I was nervous the entire time.
Look, let me tell you, and I can personally attest, he has been texting me updates, stories. I can get emails, anything that's happening. He's been giving me updates of what's going on because it really has captured the attention of us all, especially those of us who played, like my man Mario, that's watching. He played at Southern Illinois, and so he understands that. And so he knows what that process is like, and to be on that team and to feel that eruption. As a Falcons fan, when we went to the dome and played New Orleans after Katrina, I was like, yeah, this is
that wasn't fair. They shouldn't. That was just not. It just wasn't fair. Like, but it shows the power of the human spirit, though. Like, so it'll be interesting to watch what happens next. The next few weeks will be crucial. They're actually doing a lot of research, and they're going to be doing a lot of tests to try to determine exactly what happened. I know there's a lot of speculation, like, will he play again? We really don't know. That'll be up to him, and it depends on the cause of what happened. So it'll be really interesting. It'll be really, really interesting. But I can't tell you how glad I am. All of us, there was a collective sigh of relief that he's okay. Now, what I will tell you here locally, I've started really pushing for the AED education and the presence of EMS at these games. I know that there's legislation for certain high schools. But the last time, one of the times that it happened, this happens most of the time in baseball, where the kid might miss the ball and it hits him in the chest. And again, it's a 1 in 264 million chance that it can happen, but it's happened, and it's like a circuit breaker. It's like the circuit breaker you have at your house. The fuse blows. The fuse blows in the circuitry of the heart, and it stops. And that's the purpose of defibrillation. And the reason that he is alive. And oh, by the way, I hear rumblings of putting that trainer that started CPR in the NFL Hall of Fame, which I am all for. I wish I could vote. He was there within 10 seconds, and they started defibrillation with the AED in 15 seconds, and that's what saved his life.
Yeah, and I think you did a great job last week kind of talking about the electrical impulses, that heart pumping, that rhythm, because we're trying to figure out like we know how muscles moving, but we don't think about our heart pumping, right? We think about every other muscle moving, pick up our legs, squeeze our arm, every other, turn our head, whatever, but we don't think about that muscle heart moving, because that was electrical impulses that keeps it on a nice rhythm. When that rhythm gets disrupted, that's when we had the cardiac arrest. And I think that was the situation where it was just the timing, 1 in 264 million. The time he hit it disrupted the rhythm of his heart in that moment, and that's why he went down that quickly. So the question before we move on to our main topic.
The best illustration is, it's something that we take for granted when we talk about the heart. We talk about the pumping. So it's like us interacting right now. We don't pay attention to things like electrical circuitry. We're talking, we're going, and then all of a sudden, a bird flies into a light, a telephone pole, or someone hits a transformer, and everything stops, because the power, what's powering the pump, the power to the pump is the circuit is cut, and that's exactly what happened. That was a very corny, but hopefully very graphic description of what happened.
I think people got it. I think people can recognize that. So last question for you before we move on to our main topic. Do you think he'll ever play again?
So that will be a decision. That's going to be determined by the battery test that he undergoes to figure out exactly what happened. And from there, that's going to be a decision that he and his family are going to have to make and take real consideration on, and have real negotiations with the NFL. It's a blessing that he's alive. There are a lot of other things that he can do in life. And Ellis, let's just talk about it. Really, he's realized the dream. I mean, he made it to the NFL. If he could get a job as a commentator, he could become an expert on these type of things. He could be an ambassador for the NFL. There's a lot of other things that he could do to make a living for the rest of his life and do really, really well. And he's made it to the professional ranks. He's still made it to the elite of athletes. So that'll be something that can be determined later. I mean, if he's deemed strong enough, and the reason isn't a genetic reason where it could happen, I can't say, something like this is 1 in 264 million. But as long as there's not a congenital defect, or his cardiologist and his team, if they say that he's safe to play, that'll be a personal decision. I just kind of hope for the best. Personally, I think he made it, and I want to bubble wrap him. I don't want anything to happen to him. So I don't know. I guess my vote doesn't count. But yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, I know that's far down the line, but I know that's a question that people are going to wonder now that he's on that path towards recovery. They're going to say, well, is he going to be able to get back into the league and resume his career? Because we know, as you mentioned earlier, he wasn't, technically he wasn't vested as of yet, and we know that we like to see players continue to live out their dream as long as they can, particularly when you reach to that level. You want to see a player stick as long as he can, and so kind of a fluke incident cut his career short. It's a shame, but I'd rather him focus on his.
But think about it, Ellis. At some point, every athlete's career ends. Every great athlete has an ending to their career, and you want them to be okay and taken care of financially in the future, but you don't want anything tragic to happen. So, I mean, his career is what some people would dream of. Let's take that event out, barring that event. But the fact that he survived it, He got his contract paid out, and he's alive to pursue other pursuits. I mean, if you think about when you retire from sports, we talked about it on the last show. You're really young. An athlete playing into their 30s is considered old in professional sports. So we'll see what happens. See what happens. And hope for the best.
Yeah. Yeah, be interesting. Okay, so being that this is our first show of the year, we wanted to give some tips and techniques on how to keep that resolution. As at the top of the program, about 60% of the people don't even keep their resolution to the end of January. I noticed this when I went to the gym. I tried to get into the boot camp class on Saturday. I got waitlisted because it was full. And I said, January got me, because before in December and November, I could get in the class anytime I wanted to. The day of, I could get into it. I tried to register the night before, and I was already waitlisted. Thank you. I did get in. If you were wondering, I did get in because somebody dropped off the list, but it was packed. And I said, oh, it's January. And normally by February, it goes back to normal. So, but we're going to help you. So we're not going to be like anybody else. We're going to help you get and keep that resolution throughout the year. So, Doc, step one is get checked. I'm sorry.
Step one is get checked. First of all, when you're picking a resolution, you want to pick something that's realistic. And if it's something that you really, really, really want to change, you have to give yourself some grace. If it's something related to your health, you want to get checked. Go to your doctor, your healthcare provider, and talk about what it is that you want to change about your life. If it's to lose weight, the hypothalamus in the body, healthily, you lose about 1 to 2 pounds a week. If you lose any more than that, your body goes into crisis mode. And for every pound you lose, it'll put on 1 to 2 pounds just to protect you from yourself. Because from an evolutionary standpoint, we've survived so many catastrophes and so many famines that our body's like, okay, it switches your metabolism from one that actively burns food to one that stores food. You turn into a hibernating bear instead of a squirrel with a bunch of energy. So pick a resolution that's realistic. If it's related to your health, talk to your doctor. The next step in getting checked is every morning when you wake up, I want you to check the box. Check this box called give yourself grace. It's like playing football, right? No matter what happened on first down, whether it's a loss for a loss of yards, when it's time to huddle up for the next play, you forget about it and move on. Give yourself grace. If you mess up on January 2nd, the year's not over. You have 364 more chances to get this, 363 more chances to get it right. So every day is a new day. Celebrate your wins. Forget your losses, because you got to move on to the next play.
Right. So a couple other things that I had was establish a baseline. Part of getting checked is establishing a baseline. So I would say go to your doctor. If you've got as much of a team you can put together, put that team together, right? So establish an accountability team. So that accountability team is your spouse, or your partner. If you've got a personal trainer or somebody at the gym, or somebody that you walk with, somebody that you work, get that accountability partner, because you're more likely to maintain longer if you've got a group of people helping you or with you, behind you, pushing you forward to continue towards that goal. So I think the accountability partner is a big thing, an accountability team to keep you moving forward, and then that baseline of knowing where you are. So that's what Doc is talking about. So you can't go from 0 to 100. Try going from 0 to 5, right? And then depending upon what your fitness level is at the moment that you're starting, and then you can work up to something more, more advanced as you get more fit along the way.
Well, and you want to be careful how much money you spend at the very beginning of this. If you invest, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to pay for years of a gym membership, and that's going to motivate me. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Start with the things that are right there at your disposal and that cost you the least in time and money and frustration. Accountability partner is a great thing to do. Your spouse, significant other. The nutritionist, before you invest a lot of money in it, there's a lot of other things that you can do for yourself, and that's the get fit part. And we can kind of get to that and get to it next. Was that a good corny transition?
That was a great transition. I had it teed up ready for you to go. So yeah, so get fit, right. So to Doc's point, you don't spend a lot of money, But one of the things that I've been working on is like how to build better habits, right? And so one of the things, especially a habit, if you have a goal, especially a long-term goal, like getting fit, like you want to lose 10, 20, 30 pounds, you want to lose that kind of weight. That's a long-term goal. So one of the things that, and when we have those long-term goals, we haven't gotten there, we don't think we're getting there fast enough, we don't have enough rewards along the way, what typically happens is we fall off and we don't keep them up. So developing good habits means building some rewards along the way. When we're talking about dramatic changes, like I'm trying to change, I'm trying to cut back on the amount of sugar I put in my diet. I'm trying to eat more vegetables and less kind of fatty foods, less salty foods. But I can't go cold turkey because going cold turkey is going to be hard. Then I have these binging moments. So like literally before the show, I got a bag. I'm an M&M's fan. I like peanut M&M's. I have a bag of M&M's. I looked on the back and it said a serving size is 12 M&M's. I ate 6, right? I got half a serving, eat the M&Ms, and that's it. So I've got my sweet fix, and now I can move on, and I don't feel like I'm depriving myself of something altogether. I did get my fix, and I can move on. So find ways to build yourself some rewards. I went to the gym this morning, so that was my reward. I got my 6 M&Ms. So build yourself some rewards to continue on that process, and that'll help you develop the habit, the good habits of eating healthy and work and exercising.
There's a lot of things you can do if food and weight are part of your goals. Now, one of the things you can do is, we're talking about foods. You made a great point. You do not want to go cold turkey. I mean, I tell people it didn't take me this long to get all this sexiness in this body, this 235 pounds of Santa Claus. And if I want to lose it, I'm not going to lose it fast. It took me 53 years to get all this. So I'm not going to lose it in a week. So you need to be realistic with yourself. The average person gains 1 pound a year. There are 3,500 calories are in every pound gained. So if you think about it, just an extra piece of candy on top of your normal diet every day will get 3,650 calories, which is a pound. So, if those 6 M&Ms turn into 60 and you do it every single day, then don't be surprised if you don't gain weight and you don't there has to be some type of deficit to burn. So one of the best things to do is there are certain apps that can help you keep a record, and you can there's no accountability. I will say there's no better or worse accountability partner than the person in the mirror. If you have if you write it down and you look at your journal, and again, give yourself grace, you know how bad you messed up. You know what you did yesterday. You know what you did last night. You know what you ate last night. So get an app, get another accountability partner, add a little competition to it, but you want to be careful. Do not vilify food. Another suggestion is instead of giving up something, add something to your life. Like one of my resolutions is to be more spiritual and be more grateful. So taking time every day to relax and calm down. It slows me down. My father gave me a book for Christmas. I'm trying to put in, and I'm good some days and bad. I'm trying to put in an hour a day where I actually read a book, something that's non-work related. And it's amazing what it does. It turns into almost a meditation, and we can get to that. That's it. Well, we can get moving to that as part of get moving. Was that good, or was the first transition better? As bad? Probably bad. I'm trying.
I think they're both about the same. But yeah, absolutely. So we're going to talk about step 3, and that's getting moving. And basically, you set up perfectly my advice for step 3. So step 3 is create your surroundings that's going to be supportive of your goal. And what do I mean by that? What that means is if my goal is to drink more water, then I need to have water available everywhere I go, right? So I can have water bottle in the car. I can have a water bottle in multiple rooms in the house instead of just in the kitchen. I can have a small cooler beside my bed. I can have in another room, have water available, have fresh fruit available in bowls around the house so you can just grab and eat.
Why the fresh fruit, Ellis? Why the fresh fruit? Why the fresh fruit? You're talking about water. Why fruit?
We need to be eating more fruits and vegetables, and fruits and vegetables are a great source of hydration as well. So you can and then you get that fiber, and there's a whole lot of things that really go well with fresh fruits and vegetables. So create an environment that is going to be supportive of your goal. So if your goal is to eat healthier, have healthy foods available and have them as reminders around wherever you go. Also, pictures. If you want to ride a bicycle, if you're not a runner because your knees are bad and your lower back's hurting, you want to ride a bicycle, have a picture of a bicycle, or have your picture of your bicycle on your car, and say, oh, what? Those are the type of things that you can do to reinforce the behaviors, keep them moving forward until you could develop that habit, right? And I know there's this universal colloquialism that thinks a habit takes 21 days to develop. That's kind of an average. It depends on the activity. It depends on your dedication, and it depends on the number of rewards. So just really build it personally for you, and build your environment that's going to be supportive of that, of developing that habit.
So, one of the suggestions, because, I talk about my grandmother a lot. She always say fast don't last. And that's when you're trying to change anything. And it's a suggested resolution is to add one thing you don't have to do everything at once. Add in something new. Like I'm going to work on being more spiritual. I can do that I'll do it for a month, get my 21 days in and make sure it's over. Then when February comes, add in something else. Once you've gotten one, you can get to your goal, but you have an entire year to get it right. And if you don't get it right, be like, well, my resolution is I'm going to get it right this time. I'm going to do it again. Treat it like a sport. Treat it like football. It's the next, you messed up on first down, we're going to get it on second down. And eventually you'll score the touchdown if you just stay the course and get the support, get the crowd behind you. Like you said, play on the best field possible with all the right equipment and tools to support you.
That's great advice. I would say one thing, and piggybacking on what you said about the amount of calories in a pound, is one thing you can do either with your doctor, or if you go see a nutritionist one time, or personal trainers do this as well. Find out how many calories your body is at rest, right? And so it just in a normal day. So
it's called your basal metabolic
rate. How much your body is producing. There you go. And so if you can do that, once you get that number, now you know what that deficit you need to create. Because you say, hey, I'm burning 2,500 calories. Well, then you base your diet on a 2,000 a day calorie diet. Now you've given your body a 500 calorie deficit, and then it's going to start burning, right? So that's what we're doing. So if you're exceeding that amount, then that's when we have problems, and you realize that your weight gain, if that's your goal, is not going to go as well, because you're putting more calories in your body is burning.
And
that's when you have to exercise.
Yeah, that's absolutely key, because one of the mistakes that a lot of people make is they try to diet and exercise at the same time. Not changing their diet. First of all, diet should be a noun. It shouldn't be a verb. Yep. Diets go to die. You should have a healthy diet. Dieting is cutting your calories and exercising more is a recipe for disaster, because what happens is you need more calories in order to exercise, and that it's good because it's part of the deficit. As you start to increase your activity, your body will crave more calories, but you need to put more efficient calories in your body. More fruits, nutrient rich and calorie poor foods. Your body craves nutrients. So as your body increases its demand for calories, you're going to have to get more calories. You just want them to be clean calories.
Absolutely right. And so, and I think you said, well, if I don't get, and a lot of times people can confuse the fatty, the sugary, the heavy calorie food as making them feel full. There's not a lot of calories in fruits and vegetables, right? And there's going to be a dual benefit for that, right? You're going to get some healthiness, and you're not going to drive your caloric intake up really, really high. Eat that lean meat, right? So there's ways to get food without getting calories. So we have to make sure that those two are mutually exclusive. You can get food without calories. So you just got to find a way, and then you can look at those things, those foods, and then like Doc said, just add one at a time. Hey, one of the things in the restaurant the other day, got a salmon sandwich. It came with fries, but you know what? I ordered a side salad with it, right? And so I did eat a French fry too. I did get the fries.
Hey, man, it's okay. That's what they're made for.
But I didn't eat the whole plate. I had a couple, got the flavor, and I ate the entire salad. And eating that salad first filled me up a little bit. So I didn't desire the fries. I focused on the salmon sandwich, and just touched a little bit of fries and moved it on. So there are ways that you can kind of almost trick yourself into fooling yourself into getting those flavors and things that we are accustomed to that we really like, but without overindulging in them and adding and supplementing with the foods that are better for you.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've had success with in the past is when I'm going out to eat, they give you large portions, and we're conditioned to eat all our foods. As soon as your food comes, you ask for a go plate, and you put half your food up. Just put it in a go box and put it to the side, and you can enjoy your meal. What will happen is you'll stop when you're full, and what's awesome is if it was good, you can eat it later.
That is great. That's great advice, because we know these restaurants, they want you to come back and they give you all this food, and it's like understanding a serving size is the size of your palm, right? It should be your serving size for rice, especially for your carbs. But this is your serving size. But we know when we go to restaurants, it's half the plate. It's overdosed. So yeah. So Doc said, cut it in half, eat half down, so have it the next day, and then that's where you.
But not
really
later. Not calories. Don't dig into that plate at 12 o'clock at night. And I'm seeing myself in this camera, so I'm talking to Eric. Do not dig and do not finish that plate. Watching ESPN at sorry, getting too personal. My bad. I'm just saying, don't do it.
How about that?
Don't do it. I didn't get dessert. I'm gonna get a scoop of ice cream.
And unless you're practicing intermittent fasting, which is a whole different practice, do not starve yourself during the day. Don't go through the starvation periods throughout the day with eating. So even if you cannot eat a full meal, let that blood sugar drop. Just have some healthy snacks that you eat every couple of hours to keep your metabolism going and revving, keeping it revved up. Because when it goes all the way down and you eat all this big meal and it goes back down, and you don't want that. You want to keep it. You want to keep your metabolism burning throughout the day. So have some snacks, pretzels, nuts, fruit. There's a lot of healthy snacks that you can eat without having to stop and eat a whole meal.
Yeah, you don't want to get trapped into the Thanksgiving nap. We all know that too well.
He said it better than I did. Yes, that post lunch nap. You should have ate that burger and fries, and now you want all you go to sleep because you're sluggish.
And the bread pudding. Yeah,
so
bread pudding.
That is it. So those are the tips that you can exercise to get yourself through this year. Don't be one of the 60%, be one of the 40% that makes it through February, makes it through March, makes it through the end of the year. Get those tips to keep those resolutions. Whatever it is, I'm hoping it's something that's more healthy for you, whether it's getting more spiritual, meditating more. That was great. Karen talked about how meditation is good.
Yes.
Whether it's talking about exercising more or eating more healthy, all of those things are fantastic. But you've got to have a plan, plan your work and work your plan, and you have a better chance of getting to the finish line, which is December 31st of 2023.
Yeah, if we can remember to let's keep praying and cheering for Damar. And remember, we're cheering for you. So we'll be here, and we're going to keep cheering for you to keep those resolutions. We can keep talking about them, and we can give you our progress. If you mess up one day, forget about it. Forget about it. Move on. Forget about it.
Grace should be applied to yourself too. So give yourself the same grace you would give somebody else. You give yourself that grace. Every day is a new day, and every day is a new opportunity to reach your goals. So with that, can you hear the music now, Doc?
Thank you. Oh, hit it.
So go get checked. Get moving.
I remember for New Year's, I'm gonna try to give me some. I'm gonna try to learn me some rhythm. Hey man, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna get it. I got a year. Y'all pray for me.